Hey everyone, welcome back to Palmetto Zoo. I am Wix, and today we're gonna build a sea lion habitat with a zoo educator, stand and guest features. We're also building a new sign and a new surf shack. So sit back and enjoy. Hey everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Palmetto Zoo. Today I have packed a bunch of stuff into this episode, also why it is a little bit longer than the previous episodes that you see on the channel. Though, today we are building an educator spot. We're building these stand for our guests, we're building a sea lion habitat, and we're building a little surf shack. Yes, all this has to be implemented in this super nice area that we're building, where we're gonna have, as I said, sea lions, penguins, and maybe even a third swimming aquatic animal at some point. Though I will, through this video here, show you a few references on what the build is based on today. There's a lot of different builds that I'm kind of like trying to match together nicely. So yeah, that's what you will see. We're starting with this first picture here, which I found, which is kind of like a concept art, where you kind of see the people sitting in the back, and then you have this super nice sea lion habitat in front of them. What I add afterwards and stuff is kind of like, just as I say, a mix and match progress. But I really like how this area is turning out at the end of this video. So yeah, as I say, it's a long one this time, but I have a bunch of stuff packed for you in this one. So as you can see here, I'm kind of like trying to make the habitat for the sea lion here, where I'm building this sort of nice little rocky wall based on the concrete pieces that I use to kind of like have this clean look and kind of like have it like a little pool situated area here. I also kind of, it's been like forever since I really did any educator spots. I have never done it besides in Hobbiton Zoo, and in Hobbiton Zoo we mainly just did it as a test for when the feature kind of like was out in the game. So I didn't really like did a proper educator spot, and I felt like today was the day, and I was feeling very inspired by this whole thing, and I'm just like very happy for how everything has turned out. Quite nicely so far in this zoo here. I'm also doing some realistic water facilities and stuff, though I did not get to record that, so that will mainly just be some cinematics that you will eventually see the further in we go to the video. But yeah, I had to cut out a lot of things and just keep it pretty basic for you guys, so it's not too many things, otherwise the video would be, we were literally up on 55 minutes with 10,000 speed. So as you can see, there's a lot of things that I've had to cut out, so we can at least have this sort of nice video going. But what we're doing specifically is that this is a whole new area, because now we have the wild north. We kind of like have the small African area at the start. We have a little bit of Australian outback, and now we're doing this little area too that I'm calling Seaside surfers, which is gonna be sea lions, penguins. I don't know what kind of penguins yet. Let me know what you guys want. Do we want the blue ones? Do we want emperor? What do you guys think would be cool to have next to the sea lion habitat here? So I'm still kind of like working based upon this reference picture here, so kind of like just working my way around and see what's what and what, etc. And some places in the pool here are deep enough for the sea lions to swim around, but it's not deep enough to kind of like have a section where people can come and look down into the water, which I kind of have on the right side, but it's mainly just half the glass you can see there and half the water. But if you still go down there, you will be able to spot them more. It's kind of like we did at the otter habitat as well. So yeah, we are slowly working our way through here, as you can see, trying to like make these super nice wall here based on the aquatic rock walls here, and then I'm just kind of like adding a bunch of stuff. So my goal here was to kind of like have it as a, you know, as you see sometimes where you have like these super nice facades in the background of these pools or these habitats, and I was based upon like kind of like have instructors and stuff walking around in there educators talking, and then you'll have the sea lions walk around this sort of scene. We kind of like made them, and as you can see here, I'm starting slowly now. And this is also based on another picture that I found on Pinterest that kind of like has this sort of like fisher kind of harbor vibe to it, and I felt like we could add that as the backdrop to this area here, and then afterwards we kind of like add to where we feel like it's the most necessary to add. And I kind of like add this here, like 3 buildings that really makes a super cool backdrop for the sea lion and for this habitat specifically. And I think it's super dope. And as I say, sometimes when inspiration is kind of like not there for you, it's always like worth a while to check out Pinterest, find a few pictures as you've seen me do today, and try to see if you can match and make them look perfectly together, like a very nice subtle transitioning between different stuff, and also just what goes together and what doesn't. And as you can see, we're building the first building here, which is kind of like based upon, as I say, this picture you saw, and then just kind of like have this sort of fishing harbor situated as the backdrop for the sea lions. And I think everything here looks perfectly well together, especially when you see the area at the end. And as I say, I'm trying to get this Subway Surfer, no, not Subway Surfer, I'm trying to get this Seaside Surfer area working well together, so it feels like we're kind of like close to a beach, like a coast, and we can get to see some nice animals swim around here and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, let me know what you would think would be a good animal to have here too. Should we get seals too? And should we get the other penguins as well? I'm very curious to hear what you think we should add next time, because I'm really enjoying this specific theme here. I also think that's why the amount of things I built on this time was pretty crazy. Like I was feeling it, and I've always wanted to build something like this. And since Palmetto Zoo is based in Florida, so we have coast all the way around. So of course I felt like it would be only necessary to have this sort of vibe as well throughout this little area we're gonna do here. So as I say, we have these 3 areas now that is kind of like fully functioning, and then we still have the reptile house. I want to do like a night house too, a nocturnal house as well, and then I kind of want to build like still flamingos, alligators next to the reptile house, and then I want to add maybe meerkats. That's kind of like what I know, and I know in fact too that the zoo is not gonna be bigger in that sense, because we're still gonna try build within the boundary, within the limit we gave ourselves at the start, so it doesn't become like a crazy mega zoo project, because we don't want that. And this is pretty much what we're doing. And yeah, obviously the highline kettles, I also want that too, around here, maybe along at the petting zoo area where we had the goats last time, and the little kiddie playground as well. So as you can see, making a new building here. This is kind of like gonna be their kind of shed in a way, where the janitors, or no, the keepers will come in. You can see the door is here now, but I do eventually change up the distance here, because once again the hitboxes on these sea lions here are just insane, dude. This is not enough. They can't even go in and out of here. But I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna work around with it. I'm not gonna use my time on making this work. As long as they can swim around in the water, and they can go up on these different areas and people can kind of see them, then I'm okay with it, honestly. Like I don't need to get annoyed as I did with the bears and stuff, because this is just too much time you use on that. And maybe this will also make me go and play with the mod where it takes out a lot of the hitboxes from the animals and pieces, but we will see what we think about that the further in we go into this project. But yeah, as you can see, we're making this little triangular building in a sense next to this other building, and these are gonna work very well together nicely. And I'm using this new water tower as well from the new pack, which is freaking amazing. I love it. And then we're just kind of like cluttering it all up before we start on the third building that we're gonna add onto here. as well. As you can see, this is more like a little Western building, but like think about these guys as a little like close harbor kind of. It doesn't even like, it can be a local kind of like fishing grounds or something, like where you have all these different buildings that like got built and stuff, and I feel like it really matches well together, like having all these sort of like different style. It kind of be a little bit Western, you know, but it also not. And I think it's a super neat, super neat idea and concept to have these kind of like being the backdrop of the sea lion habitat. And I've just always, as I said, wanted to build a proper sea lion habitat that had it all, like the stage, the stands for the guests, and educator coming in and talking about the animals. I even want to, like, I have a feeding situation. I remember we can do that too, and we can even have them show an exhibit animal. So maybe we'll do something like that in the reptile house. We'll see how far we go. But if you guys also have a few ideas of what animals you wanted to see in a night house, like a nocturnal house, let me know in the comments down below as well, because right now I'm kind of lost on specific animals. I obviously want to have most likely the badgers, I think, for now. And then I take any suggestions on what you guys would think would look super cool in here. So we're doing a little the crab trap here, and it's kind of like taken from the picture, but I thought it was a cool name, and then I kind of like just decal it up a bit so it feels like it's kind of like groggy and kind of like a little bit destroyed through the years here. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying this. Like, I was, as I said, on a groove, and everything just worked out nicely here. And here we're gonna have boats and barrels, because why not? You gotta sell some boats and barrels. I didn't feel like it was proper to have like a fishing kind of thing in some way or another, right? So we kind of like just went with this instead, and I think it's super neat. It's super neat. Using some of these pieces again here just to make this little area look nice before we trim it up and do something else. You can see we kind of like already have the guests sitting now, and we're just gonna try to fence it all nicely in so no one falls in and we are gonna get sued of our guests. We do not want that. That is a dumb situation no one wants to be in. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just trying to like putting all these stands together so they don't have a gap. And that's kind of like what I try to do with some concrete pieces between these gaps here. I have adding some trees, and afterwards we're gonna give it a little canopy kind of vibe with some suspense that are holding these canopies, these banners, through these logs here, as you can see. And I think using the nature vibes of this really adds to this whole situation here with all of them sitting. And this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, as I said, like just this whole situated like a whole concert kind of arena, coliseum in a way, if you say it like that, honestly. And it just works wonders, especially when everything gets together nicely. We even put some speakers, some surveillance cameras in here to make it real, to feel like it's realistic and the people can hear what's been said all the way around. And as you can see, it really adds to the thing here, that we can have this sort of a canopy kind of protection. It's Florida, so it's getting pretty hot. So you do want a few of these shady areas in the zoo as well. So and it works very well with the sun. I wish you guys could see that, but the more the sun moves, the shades are kind of like moving towards it or with it. So it also gives it a little bit of a unique vibe to it as well, you know. So but yeah, I'm very proud of this specific area here, and I feel like every habitat and every area in this zoo gets better and better because I become more confident about this whole realism aspect here. And I look into a lot more pictures. As you guys can see today, we're using almost 5 pictures for reference that we put in a full immersed area together. And that is one of the cool things I do appreciate and I do love about Planet Zoo or Planet Coaster, in that way that we are our own and we can build whatever we feel like. So yeah, I was struggling a little bit with the banners here, or like the supports and on the glass, like what should I be able to do here, because I wanted to still have it feel like it was kind of like in this sort of vibe and environment. So it was tricky, but eventually I found an idea on what to do, which were nice. So yay. But yeah, we're adding a little bit of railing here to the stand to make people feel like they can walk up here. I know we don't have any wheelchair access and stuff, but people can kind of like sit on the first floor if that's what they are. So there are still a little bit of that in here as well. So I had to connect these fencing here, and I was like, how do I do that? So luckily for us, we have a lot of these new pieces in the game that can kind of like make everything work together nicely, as you can see here. Boom. And we kind of like had them fit in very nicely here, so we don't have any gaps between them. And that's really, really neat. I'm using some of these rustic metal fence pieces for the first time. And I feel like they kind of work very well for what I wanted them to do here. And then afterwards, we kind of like just take these and take it all the way around the glass barrier here. And that's pretty much going to be the full exceptional part of it as well. Okay, so now we're moving over to the entrance, kind of like the little bit of a sign that we're gonna have here. And this is also taking inspiration from a picture I found on Pinterest. I'm taking a lot of concept and pictures from different zoos and kind of like trying to mingle it and integrate it into my own project here, and kind of like doing it my own way. But I felt like this sign specifically, as you can see on the screen right now, were awesome, and I felt like, why do I not implement this here and do a little bit of different things to it, and then we just have our own little like seaside surfers area here. And I love this because this is kind of like a beach area, like a super nice vibe. And I think we're gonna have obviously a lot more things added to this area, but I felt like now when we have all these things, you can kind of see what I want with this theme, what I want with this area, and it really works wonders for me. And I'm super, super proud and happy for how this turned out, honestly. And yeah, I even think Seaside Surfers was a great name for this specific area. Yeah, as you can see, I'm just adding a little bit of signs now, and trying to work around with some of these decals and etc., which I don't really do a lot. I sometimes forget they're there. So yeah, I think it's super, super dope. So yeah, Seaside Surfers here, trying to make it a little bit out of a shade as well. And then we kind of like good with this, with the fonting here. And I just had these pretendable signs because if we were gonna write more animals or have more animals here, I feel like it would be the perfect way to do so. So penguins, were definitely having that as well here. I don't know if that will be what I do next video. I do want to make a habitat for them though, but we will see what we will do in the next Palmetto video. Yes. So we're almost done with the signage here, just adding a little bit of support on it too on the ground, and adding this little gravel bits as well to make it feel like it's on something instead of just concrete. So yeah, so as soon as we're kind of like done with that, we are moving into doing a little bit of different stuff here and there, honestly. Just doing a little bit of clutter, making it look all nice and dandy around here. Some decals, as you can see, the whole area now is really starting to look like a realistic area where you would actually sit and watch these animals do their thing. And yeah, and especially with the Educator there and having a full set is really, really awesome. We're moving over to another build as well, which is the last build of the video. This was because this was an idea I had for a long time too. I wanted to do like a surf, like a little shack, using some of the new Oceania pieces and kind of like mix and mingle everything else together nicely. And as you can see, I'm cutting off a little bit as well because you've mainly seen me do a lot of these things before in the past. And I also found this picture on Pinterest too that I was like, this is kind of like the shaping. This is kind of like the vibe I want to use for this specific build. The interior itself is just made by me. There's not really any specific style to the interior that I just wanted to have it feel like a surfside shack in that way, right? So putting in some barriers here so the people will actually use the door and not just to go through the walls. And afterwards too, I'm kind of like adding this little foliage aspect here next to it to make it look super nice. And afterwards, I do this trellis and little sitting area where I'm putting in some benches. I'm closing it in with some hedges and some foliage as well. So we can kind of like get this super nice, cozy sitting area right next to all these cute animals here. So yeah, as you can see, it's really starting to look of something. And this area is probably one of my favorite ones I've done in the entire zoo so far. I really do love the Wild North area, but I think this area is really starting to look a lot better, and especially if we're gonna add what I have in mind as well. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think so far. What is your favorite area of Palmetto Zoo for now? Is it the Wild North? Is it the Australian? Or is it the Surfside kind of area that we are doing here as well? So yeah, just doing a little bit of pieces here and there, trying to like make it all look super nice, and doing a little custom sign here. I turned the surfboards around so we get this super nice wooden rustic texture here, and then afterwards I'm putting in the sign that you can hide through the walls and kind of like get the font out, which is like, it's so freaking cool you can do that, and I love it. Some foliage here and there before we kind of like start on the interior of the shack, and I'm actually doing something pretty cool in the shack. Actually, I'm doing these custom freezers in a way, I guess you can say, where I'm doing for ice cream and for sodas. And it's just because I feel like I needed something like refreshing. I wanted this to be like a souvenir and also a refreshment kind of shack, you know, like you see in all the zoos too. Like they always have like a little soda, a little freezer with some ice cream and sodas as well, while they have all their souvenirs and stuff. I do wish we had smaller of these pieces here though, the aluminium panels, but hey, it works as I wanted to. And as you can see here, we kind of like just adding it up very quick, not doing too much fancy. Maybe we should put like a little cooler situation in here, but besides that, this is pretty much what it is. I'm not adding too much detailing into this. It's pretty much just, you know, what you see from a guest perspective, because you will only see this if you actually go over there and look into it. So having it like from the side and just looking at it like that kind of works very well, to be fair. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Adding some Cosmic Cow sign here and the soda from Gulpy sign. And then I'm just, after that, we're just kind of like just trying to add here and there where I feel like we need most. As you can see, this shack here is definitely gonna feel like a souvenir shack, but I do like that about this, because it's very neat in that way. And since we have all these new souvenir pieces, it's just freaking perfect for what we can do with this sort of style and interior work now. Not that they can buy them or anything, it's just nice decorative parts too, you know. So yeah, it's really neat. Using these chipboard wall panels from the Australia pack in here, I thought they were kind of neat. And then I'm just pretty much just decorating the hell out of this interior, and then we're pretty much done with this whole build. Yeah, adding in the sodas obviously, and then afterwards I'm adding another freezer kind of fridge behind the cashier as well, because it needed a little bit of extra in front of there. Yeah, as you can see, we're just doing a little bit of stuff, trying to get in as much as we can in this little shack here. So yeah, I'm super happy for what this look like now and how everything turned out at the end. The cinematics is really making this area shine a lot. So I hope you guys are staying for those here at the end. I also have a little preview of what I did behind the habitat with like some water facilities and etc., which I also took a little bit inspiration from. I did hear in some other Discord that I need to do some of the water tanks, needs to be a little bit bigger, but hey, we're just doing this for fun, and I will do that eventually next time we are getting into that. But yeah, I feel like the front here needed a little bit of an extra touch, and I kind of like that could match perfectly with the sign and the area here. So just adding refreshments here and souvenirs, and then just adding a little bit of trim pieces here and there, some lights, and I think we are good to go. We are just needing the last fridge that has to be at the back of the cashier, and then we're pretty much good to go. I also use the flooring, as you saw from the latest update too, and everything else just work wonders, guys. So yeah, let me know what you think of the video. Do you also like this area, and which animal would you like to see in Palmetto Zoo? And also, should it be emperor penguins or the blue penguins or even the third penguins? I actually don't know how many penguins we have, but let me know in the comments down below, and like the video if you think it deserves it. You can also join the Discord if you want to be part of the community, and you can also become a patron if you want early access and if you want more influence in my content. So yeah, have a great day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.